Hello and welcome to the weekly update show. I'm Brandon.
I'm Darren.
And we're going to go over last week's top news stories that could have a practical impact on your online life, and getting right into some of the topics that are of interest. First one is, I saw this one going kind of quite public and quite fast and being shared quite a lot. Some researchers building an app that's designed to detect if there are smart glasses nearby. In case you're worried if someone's secretly recording you, because smart glasses, because they connect via Bluetooth to your phone, they have certain identifiers in their signals. And because Bluetooth kind of just shoots out everywhere, the app is designed to pick up on the signal, and then it will send you a warning going, hey, someone might be wearing smart glasses around you.
Kind of like AirTags.
Kind of like AirTags in a way.
In a way.
So
smart idea. I actually wrote an article on smart glasses that I just posted the other day where there's some real concerns. Like there's a guy in Vancouver right now who's made a social media whole thing about it where he goes out and tries to pick up women wearing these glasses. He doesn't disclose that he's recording what's going on. Then he posts them online later on for clickbait, right? Like it's becoming an issue for sure. So, hey, using technology to fight technology, right?
But the thing is that the notification won't necessarily tell you if someone's recording or not.
Right.
It's just that, hey, someone could be wearing smart glasses. Yeah. Also, let's talk about the whole, I don't know, I think people are trying to make a point to record with their glasses overtly, because if someone really wants to covertly spy on you, you can buy a $50 spy camera pen on Amazon.
Yeah, that's true.
Put it in your pocket, and then it doesn't have little indicator light.
Yeah.
It's much more secretive. Or I've seen water bottles where you can put a camera in them as well.
Yeah.
Spy
cams, right? There's a variety of different ones on the market right now that are micro in size and stuff. But I mean, the thing with the glasses is they're getting better. I mean, do you remember the first, what was it, the Google Glass? Remember that? You look like
Google Glass.
Remember that? You look like something off of Tron. Remember that?
Oh, those are the days.
I know. But, and in the first generation, I would call that first generation. Second generation, like the first Meta glasses, they were pretty bulky and ugly. But have you seen some of the new ones that are out right now? Like they're pretty stylish, not just Meta, but some of the other ones that are on the market right now.
Google Glass's mistake is that it was a foreign object on your face.
Yeah, true.
But now with actual cameras and smart glasses in the glasses frame, yeah, that's what Google Glass should have been many years ago.
We're moving to wearables, right? Like everybody's moving to wearables, trying to figure out where we're going with that. And, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think in the next 3 to 5 years, smartphones will go by the way of the dodo bird. And I think these wearable devices that are coming out are trying to take over from that market. And I think they'll be successful, especially if you can project something onto your glasses, which, Meta and some of the other ones you can now. Like a good example, hey, Google, hey, Meta, how do I get from here to Boston Pizza? And boop, you just follow it in your glasses, right? Like, so I think it's coming. So I we'll see what happens. I still think there'll be a need for cell phones for sure, but I don't think all the functions that you're using on a cell phone will be needed anymore because you'll have these wearable devices.
We'll see. But if you are someone who's very paranoid about spy wearable glasses, there is an app to help detect that. Although not foolproof and really only works with like the brand named ones.
Or if you're in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom, and somebody looks at you and does one of this with the glasses on, that might be a clue, right? That might be a clue, right?
Yeah.
So, but there's a court case that actually I was just reading about. The guy was just convicted in, I think it was Great Britain, the United States, I forget which one of the two. But he wore a set of these glasses while he was having an intimate relationship with his partner and didn't disclose that he did it. So he recorded everything and then he posted on one of these I said the right word. One of these porn sites. And the ex-partner found out about it and ended up suing him and charging him. So he's now being convicted and he's now being sued, right? So I guess it's the other thing. If somebody comes into the bedroom for an intimate and they're still wearing these glasses, that might be a clue, right? Just saying.
Next news story.
This is
Perplexity AI. They have a browser.
Yep.
They're one of the first ones, actually. They're rolling out some updates with a voice mode now available for desktop users, iPhones and mobile rolling out later this month.
Yep.
But basically, users can fully control their browser, hands-free, open websites, scroll pages, click links, summarize, and compare tabs, all voice activated using AI.
So here's my argument to support the fact that I think cell phones in 3 or 5 years are going to go by the way of the dodo bird, right? Like if you have a wearable that does all this kind of stuff for you, you don't have to post and do all this kind of stuff on a screen anymore, right? Like think about people who maybe have some disabilities, right? Like what a great access capability of this, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it it was like movies of like sci-fi, and they want like virtual AI assistants that do things for you and just voice command.
Hello, Hal.
We're getting pretty close to that.
Hal, are you there?
So if you want an AI first browser and you want to have just voice commands, Perplexity's AI might be of interest.
Did it say if it recognizes different languages like English?
Ooh, I don't know. It is powered
Spanish,
by OpenAI's
French.
ChatGPT real-time model.
Okay.
So it is. So the powerhouse behind the voice recognition is ChatGPT, but it's bundled into Perplexity's AI browser.
I see they just dumped ChatGPT. Just dumped 5.3. I think it was today.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I'm just reading about it, what some of the changes are and stuff. Yeah, them and Gemini right now, they're racing fast, they're racing hard, right? So,
well, speaking of OpenAI's ChatGPT, they announced last week that they have now reached 900 million active users.
900
weekly.
million.
900 weekly.
They're still number one, right?
They are the most user-friendly first.
Yeah.
They were first to market, so they do have that advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're really good as an all-round AI.
It's interesting to see, been reading lots of things in a lot of the forums that I'm on, as well as people that are hopping out of ChatGPT and going into Audacity. Was it Audacity? What was it? The Pentagon in the United States.
They're using Claude now.
Is it? Well, no, they said that they banned it now, right?
They're banning it.
Yeah. And so as a result of that, people are leaving ChatGPT and going over to the company.
Anthropic.
Anthropic, that's right.
Is the one that runs and owns Claude.
Right. So what a lot of ChatGPT users are going, hey, listen, we kind of like that ethos. We're going to make the hop over. And they've now said that, which is interesting. I'm going to try this just to see what happens. But Anthropic has basically said if you hop over to them, their AI can learn about what ChatGPT has done, and they'll be able to kind of learn from what it learned. So you're not starting all over again, right? Like you're not having to train a baby all over again, right?
Okay.
So kind of interesting. So I was going to kind of test it just to see if that happens.
Yeah.
Right?
ChatGPT also reported 50 million paying subscribers.
How many?
50 million paying subscribers.
Yeah. And they won't get those ads that are now coming out with the free version.
That's true.
Right?
So, yeah, actually, I think I have that. Claude.
Yeah.
Because Claude has now become a home name brand now, I think because the U.S. government's deciding to kick it out.
Yeah.
So now everyone's heard of this Claude thing. They're adding a new feature to their free tier, which allows for retained memory.
Yeah.
So, for example, you make a prompt today, a week later, you make another prompt. It can remember your prompt's history.
ChatGPT does that
now.
Yeah.
So now Claude does do that in its premium model.
Right.
I'll also say, looking at the different AI models, Claude has been seen as kind of the most advanced. Claude is the most expensive, like the enterprise level.
Right.
It can do a lot. It's a lot more data focused. Actually, a lot of programmers and coders who are using AI, they tend to opt for Claude.
You know, their business plan just runs the same way, right? Like throw everything out there for free, get everybody hooked, and then all of a sudden we're going to say, well, in order for you to use it, you now need to pay us, right? Like
it's now actually reached #1 spot in the U.S. App Store.
Yeah,
because
of what the government did in the U.S. Right? The Department of War, because they didn't want to play along. Claude didn't want to play along and give him the access to use it for military purposes. The administration said, "Fine, you're fired." Right?
And then everyone's like, "Ooh, what's this Claude?" And they have a free version. So Claude has jumped in rankings. So
bad news is good news, right? depending upon how you take it.
Yeah. So Claude can now reference past conversations, maintain context across sessions, and continue with projects without restarting instructions. So if you want to give it a try, it's now become a brand name.
Interesting.
Okay, you shared this one.
Yeah.
Apple is beginning to roll out age verification for its App Store because some countries, even some U.S. states, are requiring app stores to allow for age verification to prove that you're either over the age of 14, 16, or an adult.
This is an interesting one because there was a real battle going on over the past 2 years so where companies have been going, hey, listen, you shouldn't be putting the pressure on us. We just create the product. It's Apple that actually sells the product. So you know what? When it comes to controlling these apps from being able to get to the kids, then really the emphasis should be put more on Apple than us as a developer of the app itself. And so there's been a back and forth on that. So it's interesting to see how Apple has done this. Now, I actually like this. It's something that I think Apple should be doing, but of course they didn't because there was no heat, no impetus, because I think it's going to affect their bottom line a little bit. So, I mean, but I don't disagree with it, right? I actually think, age verification at the App Store level is not such a bad idea. Just saying. Right?
Well, this allows, it's in beta, but right now it allows users to have age categories, child, teen, adult.
Yeah.
While they're trying to do it without collecting personal information.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Well, they'll probably do it on device, right?
We'll see.
Because that's what they do with their facial recognition. They say it's all done on device. They don't collect any. That's what they say, right?
I do trust Apple more with its
do you? Really?
Face ID system.
Where's my tin hat?
Than say,
I gotta get my tin hat.
Other services that are web-based that do that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, users or parents or guardians must opt in to share their age category. If not, they'll be blocked. And they're trying to do it in a way that reduces privacy as a risk.
Yeah.
I'm curious on how they're going to achieve that without having to actually have your
like
face
this better
in a database.
Yeah, like putting your face. I just posted. It's got a lot of hits. I just did a one page a quick hit on our social media saying, once you're unlike a password that you can change as soon as it's compromised. It's pretty hard to change your face once it's compromised, right? So the bio identifiers, right? Like, so that's one of our concern about age gating is that in order to do that, usually there's one of two ways to do it. You either scan your face and the AI makes a decision if you're over this certain age, or you have to provide some form of ID. Both of those are real privacy issues, right?
The challenge is going to be, how do you manage it? Because, so for example, in Brazil, games with loot boxes will receive an 18 plus rating and need to age verify. Australia, Brazil, Singapore, blocked from downloading age 18 plus related apps. You must confirm age before you can continue with that.
But who makes the decision on the so that's the other thing, right? Like there was this research done by the Canadian Centre of Child Protection where they looked at age ratings on a number of the apps that were in the Apple App Store, and they actually found that a lot of them that should be 18 were for under 13-year-olds. And it turned out that it was Apple that was making a decision on what the age without even looking at it, right? So are they going to adopt like an international ESRB type rating? We do that for movies now and games. Well, should we be doing the same thing now? Or they should, because who makes the decision if the app should be 18 plus? It's going to be Apple, right?
Well, when you build an app, I know because we used to have an app, and it was rated 18 plus because we talked about resources about if you're being extorted.
Right.
Apparently, you have to be 18 to learn that stuff.
Like that makes
and
sense.
So
right?
basically, you as a developer make a suggested rating. It goes to Apple's review panel, and then they basically go yes or no.
Yeah. And they don't really read context into it, right?
They don't read context.
Because on our app, we had things that, if all of a sudden you were experiencing corn issues, if we actually use the actual word, not corn, but the other word that starts with a P, all of a sudden they're going, whoa, adult over 18. But it's like, no, this is actually for kids that if they're having to deal with this stuff, how do they go about dealing with it, right?
Yep. Also, I have in my notes here about in one of the Utah proposed options, users' age category will be shared with the apps you download via the API.
Well, that's not good.
Hey, if lawmakers make it so, hey, you have to age verify on the device, but also when you download an app, your category is shared with all the apps you download. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, yeah.
I don't like that.
Every country, every state is having its own different laws on this matter. And honestly, it's going to make things way more complicated. Yeah. So
actually, but overall, I kind of like the idea that where these, these app stores, be it Apple, be it Google, have age verification built right into the store that can be done at the device level. I think that's a great idea. It's not a perfect
with
fix.
Google, you just sideload the app. Or some apps like Snapchat and whatnot, you can get to the app via the browser.
Yeah, I know.
So you just open the browser, log into Snapchat. You don't need to download the app.
That's why there's a company in Australia. I mentioned this before, where what they do is it's the parent that does the certification as to who they are, and then you're given a key, and that key is basically the key that you give to your child that now says to the company, if the child has this key, they're now over the age of 16. So the child is not having to download any kind of personal information about themselves. It's the adult parent that does it.
But now, stopping kids from just selling their keys and making a buck.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
All right. We see that right now in some European countries where some teens on eBay are going, hey, you're an adult, you want a teen account? Yeah. Give me some money. I'll make you a video. You can get a teen account.
Yeah, exactly.
And hey, they're making a business out of that.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah.
I mean, hey, get that bag.
Yeah. Interesting, right? There's always workarounds. Like, it's just... Anyways, don't get me going. This whole age gating thing, I understand the reasoning behind it, but the reality is kids will figure out ways around it. And the age gating doesn't fix what the actual issue is. Like, an age gate is kind of like you're triaging the bleeding, but you're not really dealing with the wound that caused the bleeding. Because if all of a sudden, like I've said this before, if I'm 15 today, let's say the age gate is 16 to join Snapchat. Today I'm 15, but tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm 16. So tomorrow I can join it. Well, what's the difference between me today and me tomorrow other than a chronological age? It's how the app is designed that is causing the problem, right? That's the wound. So one of the things that we've been saying consistently here at the White Hatter is we are not supporters of age gating, with some exceptions like porn sites or corn sites. But, and other than that, we should be focusing on the design, safety by design of these products that are causing the harm, right?
Yeah, but that's underpinning the whole concept of capitalism. Like, okay, let's
go for it. Let's have that fight, because I think that's a better fight than age gating.
Then if you're going to do that, you also have to ban supermarkets from using fragrances to trick their users. You have to ban grocery stores from
Where's
venting.
the nexus there?
Capitalism. Certain tricks in marketing to convince you to do something you may not inherently do on your own.
Suggestibility.
So I don't know, a store venting their bakery to the front entrance. Yeah. That is a deceptive marketing strategy. Or how some products...
Not deceptive, but covert.
Tomato.
You walk into some stores, especially beauty stores. Maybe you have some perfume in the scent. You walk into some places in Las Vegas. You go to some of the casinos, and they got a specific scent in the air.
Oh yeah,
right?
Maybe you should make casinos have windows so you can tell the time of day.
And maybe put a clock in there too.
Exactly. Right? So we're looking at all.
But do those cause damage? Right, like that's the issue. It's the design
damage. What are we talking about? I could lose all my money because I've been gambling for X amount of hours.
You have to be an adult to do that. Right.
Okay, fine. Well, then maybe sugar. Sugar is a problem. Yep. Sugar is a catastrophic chemical that exists in our society, and yet we don't regulate it like other substances that are causing problems.
I think sugar's regulated under the Food and Drug Act. There's some regulations in place there.
Yes, but you can consume nothing but sugar.
Well, that's not good for you.
Exactly, but we know people do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
But at least there's some rules in place at the FDA level for the importation.
Yeah,
of
you
sugar.
have to put a label on your high sugar content.
But in order to do that, there's regulations in place that says that you shall do this. If not, there is going to be a consequence to you.
But couldn't it be harmful if there's a bakery of baked goods and they vent the smells to the front entrance
Show me
of
that
the
bakery,
store?
man. I'll be there tomorrow.
And now you are someone
Chocolate
who
donuts.
might not be able to consume baked goods, and now you are being manipulated, suggested to buy baked goods, right? That could be a harmful act.
Could be.
Right? Much like making social networks stick. See,
but is that as bad as platforms that allow the purposes of online predation exploitation that they know is taking place, but are not dealing with it?
well, that's different.
No, is
And we're
it?
talking about
Or-
making apps sticky, where they're using dings and boops and beeps to keep it coming back again and again and
No,
again.
what I'm talking about is how it causes harm, right? Like that's what I'm saying is that, like algorithm, you want to deal with a lot of this stuff, deal with the algorithms, right? Like if you can create an algorithm that doesn't allow people to go down these deep, dark holes, well then let's deal with it. If you got rid of these algorithms, like prior to algorithms, we didn't have like even 3/4 of the issues that we have, where all of a sudden you go down this path, this algorithm picks up the fact that you pause for a split second on this one video, and then all of a sudden your feed is now full of these videos that you don't want to see, but because you looked at it, all of a sudden the algorithm picked up on that and said, oh, he spent a second longer on that one than the other one, so we'll send him more content.
How
like
is that different than venting bakery scents to the front door of a supermarket?
Because that smells good.
They're all marketing strategies.
Yes.
So, okay, you ban one, but don't ban the others?
But if you know that a specific market or marketing strategy is causing harm,
what's the threshold for harm?
depends upon what it is you're looking for, right? I mean, I guess if you're a diabetic and that kind of stuff, you're walking in a bakery and it makes you buy stuff because you're smelling the.
There we go.
Right,
That could be harmful.
It could be, but again, from a risk management standpoint, you compare that to the risks that these kids are finding themselves in because of some of these algorithms and the way that some of these sites are designed. Well, then, we got to do something about this, right?
So just to be clear, I'm not trying to defend social networks by saying they should keep their deceptive strategies. I'm saying
you're always playing the devil's advocate, which is a good thing.
No, what I'm saying
I think being a devil's advocate is good.
Capitalistic marketing strategies should be evaluated.
Yes, I don't disagree with you there. And I also think that it's okay for you to be to push back, because I think we need more of this. I think too often society, we become these lemmings that we follow whatever the political windsock of the generation is right now. And right now it's all about, our kids are these anxious kids and all these bad things are happening, OMG and blah. But you kind of sit back and you go, really? Well, that's not our experience. And a lot of the research that's out there is showing something quite differently. But because it feeds into this public narrative, and because, you got me going again, because politicians sees it as an easy way to get a win, they're hopping on board. I think 10 years from now, we're going to look back on this and people are going to go, why were we so dumb?
You know what would make kids less anxious? Economic prospects for their future.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not just
saying.
Not just that, but how about less violence in the home? What about school and schooling? What about
violence? School active threats?
It's so multifactorial on the issues surrounding mental health issues, but people just funnel in and zoom in as one individual did and say, well, we can fix all of this by creating these age gatings, not letting kids on social media or devices until they're at least age 16 or in high school. It's like, give me a break.
Sure, take away the phones, but AI will still take their jobs.
And get back to prohibition, right? Oh my God, alcohol is causing all the evils, all the other, let's ban it. And so what happened? They found ways around it. They drove into Canada, bought the Canadian whiskey, and drove it down to the United States, right? But as a result of that, they went, this just isn't working. And so what did they do? They put regulations in place on this stuff. They started to police it. They started to hold these companies accountable. That's what we need to be doing with big tech, because right now, big tech is not accountable to anybody. They're almost like the banks, where they're too big to fail. And we can't let that happen, right? Like we need to be holding, oh, you got me going. We got to start holding these social media behemoths, these juggernauts accountable for what they're doing.
You can only control the ones in your nation.
I get it, right?
And
I
if
get
you
it.
regulate ours.
But Darren, they got a $5 million fine. That is a drop in the bucket with the amount of money that they're making. Like that's just, to them, it's like a cost of doing business. Let's make it $1 billion. All of a sudden you'll see them go, whoa, right? So anyways. Okay, breathe, Darren.
Next topic. So you prompt AI to make you some art.
Okay.
Can you copyright that? Well, the U.S. Supreme Court has decided not to hear a case where the current decision is, well, the U.S. Copyright Office saying, no, you cannot copyright AI images.
So the lower court said that. What did the lower court under the Supreme Court find? Did they say that yes, it was a copyright violation?
U.S. federal court judge ruled that the authorship is bedrock, human authorship is bedrock to the requirement of copyright. So they supported the Copyright Office. 2025, U.S. Court of Appeals, District of Columbia upheld that ruling. And 2026, Supreme Court declined to review the appeal.
So therefore, the law of the land right now will be the Court of Appeal that said what about copyright?
Supporting the Copyright Office, saying someone made art via prompting, and they went to copyright it at the Copyright Office. And going, here's my art, submit it, copyright it.
And what did the Copyright Office say?
They said, nope, it's AI. We can't copyright it for you because it's not human created.
Okay, and the Court of Appeal in the United States agreed with that.
Yes.
Okay, so that until the Supreme Court rules otherwise in a different case, that's now the law of the land in the U.S.
Yeah, at least in the District Court of Columbia. City Circuit.
I wonder how they're going to deal with that with respect to, I think I mentioned this to you before, like the video that came out of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, right? That martial arts fight that took place that like spread like wildfire, went viral there a week and a half ago. It didn't happen. Is that breach of copyright?
Well, that's a huge question.
I know.
But this case wasn't necessarily.
Common sense says yes.
This case wasn't necessarily where somebody had essentially. I guess I could show it because it's not copyrighted. Yeah.
Well, remember in Canada, what's the Canadian law say on it?
Yeah, that's true.
So, although it may not be in the United States, it may be here in Canada, right? So,
oh yeah, this one. So it's not. Can I pop it up somehow? I'll figure it out. So I'm looking at it. It's like a garden scene. So it's not using any identifiable people. Yeah. It's just someone prompting, "Make me a garden that's
it's very artistic." Pretty. A lot of purple in it. Your mom would like that. Very gardeny.
So yeah, basically, U.S. Copyright Office said they will not copyright AI generate stuff. Now, if you were a human and you made some alterations in Photoshop afterwards, I can't say otherwise. But just prompting for art, apparently, can't copyright it.
We got another court case in the United States where it's Disney who's suing. Who is it over the DALL-E? I think it is. Copyright violation because
Midjourney.
Yeah, it was Midjourney actually, because Midjourney, if you type in create a Yoda-like Star Wars figure, it's actually Yoda. It's identical. So Disney's suing them for breach of copyright, right? So it's going to be interesting to watch that case because that may be in complete opposite to this one, right?
Well, that's where you're using someone else's copyrighted material. This is a case where you're kind of creating your own material. Okay. So similar, but they are different. Yeah. But it will be interesting to see where that boundary is.
Yeah, it's this it's actually quite a common question that we get from students about asking, what are our thoughts on AI generated work and copyright law, right? And so my caution to them is that it's still unsettled law, so just be careful about what it is that you're doing.
And you make something, at least in the US, it looks like you can't copyright it.
As long as it's not similar to somebody else's work, i.e. like Midjourney and Yoda.
Potentially, yeah.
So.
Yeah. So in entertainment news, Netflix was looking to buy Warner Brothers. Paramount came in and saying, hey, we'll give you more money. Netflix has backed out. So the big giants get even bigger in the media conglomerate space.
Who owns Warner Brothers?
It will be Paramount now.
And who owns Paramount?
With Paramount, Skydance.
And who owns Skydance?
Together, as they're a new company, there's some political ties
And
there.
what are those political ties?
We won't get into that.
No, I'm getting into it. I got the silver hat on.
Definitely, Paramount has been playing the political game and kind of listening to the U.S. government in order for potentially preferable decisions.
Because what is one of the major cable networks, news networks in the United States that is owned by Paramount or Warner Brothers?
CNN?
Sorry. Correct. And so who doesn't like CNN?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? They're already doing it with another, if you notice, there's a couple of other news outlets in the United States rebranding because they're being bought up by this company as well. And once again, what's happening here is they're trying to control the media. There's more to the story going on here, right? Because now once they own CNN, which is going to happen, the person up on high can now say, no, you're not going to run that story. And if you don't like it, go find another job. Did you notice that Anderson Cooper left 60 Minutes because of that very issue, right? I mean, so this is very concerning. And of course, the current U.S. administration is not going to balk about this because the FCC in the United States is run by who?
Who's it again?
Donald Trump. Right?
Well, he doesn't run it.
Yeah, he does. He runs it. I don't care what anybody says.
There's appointments.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, so
puppets.
Now, people have been crediting that at least Netflix also didn't get it, because Netflix tends to get things and let things kind of just, die off. So Netflix does tend to make shows and content worse, because Netflix is really kind of the slop of streaming media content.
I would rather have slop than having government control what we're seeing.
Paramount does, however, make much better quality stuff, though, than Netflix.
They do, but anyways, where's my tin hat?
So if you are someone, keep in mind, that watches streaming content, you now really only have a few big players. So HBO is now part of the Paramount Plus stuff. And now Paramount is now Warner Brothers, soon to be, and then Skydance. So that's one entity. Netflix is another. Amazon, which also bought MGM. Remember that happened? So now they're together. So that's three. Am I missing any others?
No.
Paramount, MGM, Netflix.
Disney.
So yeah, Disney is its own thing. But Disney doesn't really produce a whole lot of content, I find, at least in their streaming service. It's usually, I check every month. It's like
Star
nothing's
Trek
new.
Star Trek.
Yeah, but they produce one show like every year. Like at least, yeah, anyway.
I like Star Trek.
Star Trek's Paramount.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
So what? Okay. So now, there's four major big players.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
Yeah, but what's going on in the U.S.? Anyway. Tin hat.
Those were the updates from last week, and hopefully can have a practical impact if you're looking at using AI. You might want to give Claude a try now, or switch over from OpenAI, or, some ideas to think about.
I think we should start our own news network. We'll call it BDN, Brandon and Darren Network. BDN News. Can you imagine? We could have our own news channel where we talk about everything newsworthy that we think is inappropriate without any kind of political, although we all have our own opinions.
You tend to go down the
rabbit holes?
The little rabbit holes from time to time. Like I try to pull you out there. It's like, let's not become a political commentary show.
No, let's become a political.
But you're the one that tends to kind of go down that route.
Well, look at what's going on in our society right now. Like, my God, what's going on south of us is affecting the entire world. I mean, it's just brutal what's going on in the world right now, all because of one man, right? Like, so we have the right to be political up here. That's why I'm getting a Canadian pin. I'm going to be a proud Canadian, right? Like, let's get political. Let's get political.
That will be
political.
Another show.
Let's get political.
Don't do that.
Why not?
Evie did a thing yesterday, and it was a whole thing.
On Let's Get Political?
No, there was a singing thing.
Oh,
one last time. I don't time change.
Oh yeah, we're
staying.
Well, we're changing this. We're springing ahead, and then that's the last time that we're
apparently.
doing it.
Anyways, that's the whole thing. And, the day after World News and they announce a whole time change thing.
Oh, right. Well,
they'll make another announcement in when it actually happens in a year.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Okay. If you're stuck with us this long,
I can be like the U.S. president.
If you stuck with us this long, thank you for showing up. We'll come back next week with some more news and updates that can have a practical impact on your online life.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.
Good afternoon, Dr. Court. How you brought yourself to where you are today?
Wanting to be generous and accommodating.
Work with young people.
We decided to do some background research on these three major mobile ISPs, what's clearly prohibited and could in fact be a violation of their terms of service.
We thought this would be an opportunity to create a video about general buying and selling safety tips on the internet.
Created a version 2 that they call the Donashi Scholar, and which is specifically designed for you about a new mobile phone that was on the market called the Wise Phone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unanswered Questions. Sometimes we just don't get enough time to answer all the amazing questions from students during our live broadcast. Recent bug in Meta, Facebook, and Instagram proves you cannot always trust a password. AI cybercrime is happening right now and is likely going to be happening more. We wish to recognize these extraordinary and outstanding people by presenting them with the White Hatter Medallion.